which leads back to the labor market conversation of
Yeah.
likely the centerpiece probably requires principal engineers, advanced, experienced senior engineers like yourself. Proper resource capital allocation requires sophisticated portfolio managers, but junior level jobs or junior level functions are likely eliminated.
I think they'll just change form.
Okay.
It used to be kind of like maintaining code and writing code by hand.
Yeah.
It would just change to be maintaining AI and talking to AI. And occasionally, if AI like malfunctions, understand why it's malfunctioning and fix
But
it.
doesn't talking to AI efficiently, and like I'm talking about advanced level of talking to AI, requires knowing what to ask, knowing the proper prompt. Proper prompt comes from experience and know-how. That comes from years of doing the junior level work to lead to senior level work, which is by default a senior role's job to use AI well, right?
I mean, the whole labor market is going to upskill.
Yeah.
So the senior
I'm not
level is
worried
going
about
to be
like,
new.
even if let's say 80% of the white collar job goes out of work. That's the reality. I'm the least person to go go against reality and objectivity, and that's going to lead to a social riot and whatever that is. I'd rather to deal with the truth and call that out than like let's say the more bullish narrative in the Silicon Valley saying, oh, this is all going to be good, it's going to be job explosion. Because and obviously this is a personal view. My view is that that's going to happen in the long term, no doubt about it. But the medium term, there's an air pocket where there will be gazillions of a large number of fresh graduates who are out of jobs, not us. I know that. So which actually makes this more objective to call it out. My worry is for other people. I know, knock on wood, we will be fine. But that layer will be out from this, let's just call it 2027 to 2030. Let's call that, if that's a big recession or something, then that leads to social issues, political, all that aside. That piece, well, like then people eventually move. And then people are, if one thing we know about our species is we're highly adaptable, right? Then they might go to trade school, they might go do mechanical engineering, they might work on their, because that part is replaced a lot slower.
Yeah, some will.
They might not go become accountants. They might not be as many paralegals at law firms. Like that changes. But the middle, let's say the class of 2030 will adapt extremely well because they've seen already what happened. They're not going to take that junior analyst role, that junior software engineering role. They might do something else. But this class of, let's say, 2024 to 2029 will be frustrated. And then eventually they learn, like all of our ancestors have done, is that throughout history, Charles Darwin said, not the smartest nor the strongest that survive. It's the most adaptable, right? So I'm not saying anything long-term, our species would blah, 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 whatever, those doomsday scenario. I'm just talking about medium-term, I wouldn't underwrite it any other way unless
I actually think medium-term, the people who are employed is in more danger than the
fresh
graduates.
Because graduates use the tools and approach things.
So I think fresh grad, we'll have to take even one step back and talk about capital markets in general, right?
Great.
Okay. Incentivize demand.
Yep.
And it pays for the demand. So your labor salary is priced based on overall demand and overall supply. Software engineering, the old school software engineering without AI takes a long time to train, requires certain kind of mindset, right?
Yep.
So it's really hard to find in this world. But the demand for software is so high because everything is transitioning digitally that during like the 2010s, the salary of software engineers really bloated, like went up so much because of this outsized demand versus like this undersupply of talent.
Yep.
And because of that, a lot of people flow into it and try to study for it, right? So there's that adjustments. Now with AI, what happens is the demand has not changed, but the supply drastically increased. So large organizations that are not adapting don't quite figure out a way to to handle that, like increase of supply. So the first thing they do is we stop hiring. The next thing they do is like we start laying off, which is what we're seeing right now. And then at some point, they realize, wow, we could actually build 3 times faster. Why don't we actually bring on like 2 times more projects in next year's planning process instead of saying we're gonna like dish out like these 60 projects, let's bring them on. So then it's gonna like the demand is taking time to adjust. But you see, large organizations plan an annual cadence, so it takes a few years for them to really be comfortable and say, hey, we're gonna commit to like twice as many projects and still believe our internal team can get it done with the same amount of people.
Yep.
So when they start adjusting for that, they're gonna start like hiring or like at least stop laying off, right? So then the demand is going to meet the supply like proper because of AI supercharged developer productivity. At that point, whoever used AI best will be the most coveted talent. And those who don't want to adapt, typically those that are in large organization who's reluctant to change and who feel comfortable, are typically the ones that are least hungry to change, will eventually be impacted and be impacted more severely than others of the new grad. And the new grad will have a harder time right now because the large organizations are still adapting. The whole funnel has shifted. But they'll be doing better over a longer period of time because they've learned the skills. They adapt. They might not have jobs for a short period of time, but at some point they're going to be in a better position to transition to an AI native developer and be employed again.
Yeah, and then that.
So then ultimately it comes down to the most willing to change are those that will survive the best over a long period of time.
Amen. Amen.